gorgeous people. This is Amber's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks. Today is Let's Talk Tuesday, and on this video, I'm going to continue sharing some more about my journey so far with my son who was diagnosed with autism just last year. As you guys know, April is Autism Awareness Month, and I recently did a collab with 5 other lovely ladies who each did a video giving you guys some information about what autism is, like what the symptoms are, and those types of things. Now, there was a giveaway with those videos, but the giveaway window has closed. We have already announced the winners, but I still encourage those of you who have not seen those videos to please take some time to watch them because there is some very informative information in those videos. Alright guys, so before I get started with my video today, I just want to give a huge shout out to Jean Louise who gave me this awesome Pac-Man like lip set and like eyeshadow set. Awesome, guys. That is how I got the look today. So I used this awesome Ghost Gloss Brilliance color. Look at this blue. How cool is that? So like for the blue Pac-Man Ghost, I love this dark blue. I think it's really cool. Like honestly, I would just put this on to, go to the store or whatever, but I'm crazy. So at any rate, and then I used this awesome blush. It's like a highlighter type of blush, but look guys, this is so cute. It's like little Pac-Man pellets. How cute is that? I just love these. So I used that on my cheeks, and then I used the amazing Pac-Man palette here. Look how cute that is, guys. We got Pac-Man indented there. So I used this blue today. I used the teal. I also used this orange down here in my corners, and then I used this on my inner corners. Guys, super pigmented. Love this palette. Love, love, love this palette. I mean, I was really excited just because it's Pac-Man, but the fact that it's actually good is a bonus. So thank you, Jean Louise, for giving me this awesome set of makeup because I'm able to do some really cool looks that I normally wouldn't be able to do. So I'm really excited about it. So I love this look. I know most of you, this isn't your cup of tea, but I truly would go out in public looking like this. Should not surprise anyone. All right, guys, enough about me. Let's get back into my stories and things for my son's diagnosis with autism. So, guys, what I wanted to cover in this video today is a little bit about my fears and concerns. So when I got the autism diagnosis, I wasn't upset about getting the fact that he has autism. Of course, I just went into mom mode and was thinking, okay, what can we do to help make his life better? What can we do to help him communicate and those types of things? So because my son can't communicate, that just scares the crap out of me, guys. Like, I just don't trust him with anybody because he's not able to communicate to me if somebody's done something wrong to him. So there's very limited people that I would trust with my son. Of course, my immediate family members and his dad are like the only people that I leave him with. But honestly, guys, my biggest fear is what happens if something happens to me. Like, what happens to my Noah? His dad is not equipped to take care of him. He just, he doesn't have the patience that I have. He just wouldn't be able to take care of him as good as I do. So I struggle with, please God, don't let anything happen to me. At least until I can get my son to a point where he is able to communicate and take care of himself. Because I would hope and pray that if God forbid something did happen to me, that his dad would let someone in my family have custody of him and take care of him. And of course he would remain in his life. But honestly, guys, that would be the best thing for him because his dad just is not equipped to be able to take care of Noah. Even if he didn't have autism, honestly, because I just don't think that he just, is built for taking care of small children. When they get a little bit older and they can be a little bit more independent, yeah, it would be fine. But right now, just in the current situation, I just don't feel like he would be able to. So I just pray, first of all, that nothing happens to me, that I will always be here to take care of my son, until he's able to communicate for himself. But if God forbid something did, I just hope that he would end up with somebody in my family who's better equipped to take care of him. And then, of course, his dad would still stay in his life very much so. But I just personally feel that would probably be the best thing for him. I struggle with sending him to school because, again, without him being able to communicate, I know that it's probably a very small percentage of teachers that do like terrible things to kids or mean things to kids, and you see some of these things on the news and maybe on YouTube or online or whatever, where teachers do these terrible things to special needs kids or to just kids in general. And that is a huge fear of mine, without my son being able to communicate effectively right now. Because if a teacher did do something wrong to him, he wouldn't be able to tell me that. So it's like, I feel like they should allow like nanny cams, I guess you can say, in the classrooms where there are children with special needs like my son, just so that the parents can watch and look and see what's going on. And that way I would know and feel a little bit more comfortable sending him to school. I do know that, like I said, it's probably a very small percentage that happens too, but still, I mean, I'm expected to drop my son off, who can't communicate very well, with a stranger. I mean, I know it's the teacher. I understand that, guys. I get it. It's the teacher. But it's a stranger to me who I've never met before. And I'm supposed to trust this person with my son. For me, the most important person in the world. You know what I mean? I struggle with that. I really do. But at the same time, I also know in order for my son to progress and get the communicative skills that he needs to get, going to school will definitely help with that. So I know it's something that I need to do, but it's something that I very much struggle with doing, if that makes sense. I do hope that he will get better as it gets closer to time for him to go to school, and maybe this won't be so much of a concern for me. But my sister's son, who is on the autism spectrum, he still doesn't really talk at all, but going to school has helped him in so many ways. It's helped him say more words. It's helped him be a little bit more communicative to us and his mom. So I know that that is definitely an effective way to help move things along. It just scares me to death because I can't be there, So I'm afraid of all of those things, but I am hopeful by the time it's time for him to get to school that he'll be doing better, because guys, I had some huge breakthroughs with him just recently. Even like he walked up to me and had one of his little cars in his hand and he said, "What's this?" He's never said that before. That is communication, guys. He's asking me what that car is. So that is a communicative thing. And I was so excited. Like, I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, it's whatever the car was. You know what I mean? It was just so exciting that he was communicating with me. And he's taken steps like that every single day. And it just makes me so excited and so happy. And it just makes me feel like once I get him in that speech therapy, that's going to help. And then obviously being in school is going to help. And I just feel like things might be okay. I really do. I'm very much feeling like that. So my son has like high functioning autism. It's not the type of autism that you see in some people where they're nonverbal and they can't communicate at all. But what I want you guys to understand is that just because somebody doesn't understand how to communicate what they're feeling to you doesn't mean that they don't understand what you're saying. So watch what you say to people, and talk to them like you would talk to anybody else. They understand what you're saying. They just don't know how to make you understand what they're feeling and what they want to say. That's where the barrier is. So I just want to make sure that people understand that, you don't have to treat them differently or anything like that. They understand everything. They're just, not all of them. I'm just saying a lot of people on the autism spectrum understand everything. They're just having trouble communicating their feelings, thoughts, and feelings to you. That's the barrier. So I just wanted to make sure that I got that across there. So, really quick, I hear some stories that are just mind-boggling, and I'm not going to say who the story came from because I don't want them, it's somebody close to me. Let me just put it that way. So that's how I heard this story. But this lady at this person's work said, okay, let me backtrack for a second. There was a true story that was on the news that happened close to my area where a woman took a small child, I'm going to say the child was 3 years old, to a cemetery in the middle of the night, no shoes, no jacket, none of those things, took the child to the cemetery, offloaded the child out of the car. The child is running, chasing after this car, and they drove away. They left a 3-year-old child in a cemetery alone at night with no clothes on. Well, they had clothes on, but no shoes on or anything like that. That is insane, guys. First of all, that is absolutely crazy. And I can't imagine why anyone would ever do something so terrible. Fortunately, the reason why everybody knows a play-by-play of what happened and how the child was racing after the car after she threw the kid out of the car and all that stuff is because someone saw it happen. Thank God for that person. So obviously they called the police, they got the child, all of this stuff. So thank God for that, right? But at any rate, they were discussing this story at this person's work. And this woman said, well, you don't understand what the circumstances were. That child could have had autism. What? I mean, what? First of all, there is no excuse for that, regardless if the child was perfectly healthy and fine. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. Period. But to say something so terrible like that, I am grateful I was not the person that heard that, because my reaction would have not been pleasant. Guys, I'm a very laid back person. I'm a very understanding person. And I get people say things sometimes that they don't mean, all that kind of stuff. But this woman is just downright ignorant and ridiculous. And I would have definitely had a lot of terrible things to say. And it wouldn't have been a pretty sight. I'm just saying, you know, I'm small but feisty. I'm just saying. So for people to have that kind of an outlook on autism upsets me to, you have no idea. It just really, really upsets me that somebody would think that autism is that terrible, that you would feel the need to dump a small child off in a cemetery in the middle of the night. That is crazy. So to have that perspective on autism just really upsets me very much, that this woman thought that that was an okay thing. That blows my mind. So another little quick story before I go, guys. This happened many years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was many years ago. And I was at a barbershop with my boyfriend at the time. He was getting his hair cut, and there's like different levels of haircuts, you know what I mean? Like there's like the basic cut, there's a pro cut, whatever. I forget what the name of the place is, but anyways, they have all these different levels. There was this woman there. She had 2 small children with her, okay? So the one child went back, no problem, getting his hair cut. The other kid was giving her trouble. She said, come on, you know, it's all down around the ears and stuff like that. He's like, no, my dad always gets me this and blah, 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 you know? So I thought maybe there was an issue with like the parents thing. Maybe they weren't together anymore. His dad does this for him, whatever. But as I'm looking back on this whole scenario, I believe that child was on the autism spectrum. So let me finish my story. So she's like trying to get this kid to get his haircut. He's just having no parts of it, right? I kind of felt like I was on that What Would You Do? Like, you know, show where they hide the cameras and stuff, because this was just such a crazy scenario. So she's trying to get him to get his haircut, and she's like, don't you dare, or something like that. She's like, go ahead and hit me. So he did. He hit her. And she's like, oh. And he's like, you told me to. But her reaction to everything was so calm and so relaxed. Like, these types of things happen all the time. And children on the autism spectrum do things like that. Especially if you tell them to do something, they're like literally going to do it. I'm just saying. So at any rate, the more that I look at this kid and his mannerisms and stuff like that, I really believe that he's on the autism spectrum. So what happened was the mom went back to check on the other kid that was getting his haircut to make sure that everything was fine. And she left this child sitting out in the waiting room with everybody else. So I'm an intervention kind of girl. I just want to like help anytime that I can. So I went over and I sat next to the child and I said, listen, how come you don't want to get your hair cut? And he's like, because my dad always gets me this package and she only wants to get the cheap one. I'm like, but you know what? You're still going to get a great haircut with the cheap one. I said, my boyfriend's right there and he's getting the cheap one. Look how great his hair looks. You know, so I kept talking to him. And then the hairstylist comes out that was supposed to cut his hair. And finally, I convinced him to go get his, he's like, all right, I'll go do it. So he did. I was so excited. He goes back to get his haircut. The mom comes back to check on him to see where he's at. And she's like panicked, like, where's my son? I'm like, he's back getting his haircut. Relax. I talked him into getting his haircut. She walked over and she said, what the heck did you say? I was like, I just talked to him a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes a stranger saying something to him rather than his mom gets him a little bit more convinced to do it. So I just convinced him to get his hair cut, and he came back out before my boyfriend was done even, and I was like, oh, you look so handsome, and he's just hiding and trying to get away from me. She's like, thank you so much. The mom's like, just thank you, thank you, thank you. But you know what? As I look back on it, that child definitely had some issues that at the time I didn't realize, but now that I know a lot about autism and I can kind of sort of tell if people are on the autism spectrum, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying having experience with it lets me kind of see some of the signs, and definitely some of the signs were there. And I'm really glad that I just was able to help in some small way, because you know what? Parents go through a lot. All parents, whether they have a child with special needs or not. It is a difficult thing. I've seen many parents out in public just have a complete meltdown with their child because the kid just isn't being good or whatever. And like I said, it's not always appropriate to intervene, but if you feel comfortable doing it and you feel like you can make a difference, then go ahead. Like in my situation, I was able to make a difference, and I do things like that quite often because I just don't want to see anybody going through a hard time and they're really thankful. I mean, most people aren't going to be receptive to some stranger talking to their child, but like I said, I mean, I don't think I pose a really big threat at a whopping 5 feet tall, 5'6" with my heels. Depends on what heels I have on that day. But nonetheless, and like a little over 100 pounds, I'm just saying I don't pose a really big threat. But you just never know. I mean, people are crazy, especially nowadays, so you just never know. But I just feel that people have a misconception of what autism is and what people that are on the autism spectrum deal with day to day. So I think a little bit more education around this will be helpful to a lot of people, so that they're not saying things like, well, you never know, that kid could have autism. That's why she dumped the kid out of the car. How could you ever say something like that? I really can't get past that. Clearly, I'm very upset about that comment because it has stuck with me all this time. And this was literally told to me probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something like that. It's really fresh in my mind. I'm just saying. So nonetheless, that's all I got for you guys in this video. Hopefully something that I covered today was somewhat helpful for you. I have one more video for the Autism Awareness that will be next Tuesday, and that's going to close out this series, but I will still continue to bring updates to you guys every single time I have some sort of major breakthrough with my son, or I just want to share some more information with you guys. All right, that's all I got for you in this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye! And on this video, I'm going to share some more information with you about autism and my journey so far with my son, who was diagnosed with autism last year. I felt like I should have a segue, but I don't know what it should be. It was good till then. Try it again. And on this video, I'm going to share with you some more information about autism, as well as my journey so far with my son, who is with... Boom! We'll just do multiple languages today. Hope you guys got all that. And on this video, I'm going to share with you some more information about autism, as well as my journey so far with my son. Am I going to share more information? Well, I kind of am. All right, let's try this again. Today is Let's Talk Tuesday, and I'm dedicating the Let's Talk Tuesdays for the month of April to... Yep. Awesome. So just like any parent, anytime anything is wrong with your kid, you just want to do everything that you can to just make things better for them. You know what I mean? And my first... This doesn't make sense. Today is Let's Talk Tuesday, and on this video, I'm going to continue sharing some more... And on this video, I'm going to continue sharing some more of my journey with my son's autism diagnosis. So autism, no, April, not autism, April. Today is Let's Talk Tuesday, and on this video, I'm going to continue sharing some more information and stories about, not stories, really stories? No, I don't know. Are they stories? Well, they're kind of stories. Well, okay, hold on. Woo, try again.